What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my final thoughts for UFC Vegas 92. We have Lerone Murphy going against Edson Barbosa. We have 12 fights back inside the Apex. And yeah, it should be an interesting card this week. In terms of the weigh-ins, not much happened. Looks like everybody made weight. Everybody's good to go. We saw Tokus make weight on like 3 days' notice, which was nice. And then Omar C, he missed weight initially, but came back and weighed in. So yeah, everybody made weight. Everybody looked pretty good. So yeah, we'll talk about some Draftkings, some prize picks as well. Looking forward to some fights tomorrow. Before we get into, if you guys could like the video, subscribe to the channel. Always much appreciated. We have a week off next week, and then the week after that, we have UFC 302, which I'm going to get ahead and then start to look into that card, see if we can find some spots. Looks like they have props out for the main event already, which is nice. So going to be getting into that. Maybe get out an early breakdown as well for 302 because, yeah, nothing else to do. So let's hit up the chat. This comment made me laugh from Jacob. He says BBL Brady, which BBL, it can mean two things. It can mean Brazilian butt lift, and it can mean be back later. So considering Jacob did comment this at 427, I'm assuming he means be back later and not Brazilian butt lift, which I can confirm I do not have. So Jacob, what is up? And hopefully that's what you meant. Be back later. Petchimix by robbery. Yeah, I scored the fight for Magomedov. I guess I was watching a different fight than some of those judges. We got Dixon saying, Brady, have no fear. Your Uncle Dixon is here. What is up, Uncle Dixon? BBL Brady. Gosh. Mix won it 3-2. Got to beat the champ to be the champ. Yeah, it was a close fight. It was a close fight. I scored at 49-46 for Magomedov, but you know, it is what it is. Close fight, 3-2. Mix is fair, but I had it the other way around. Says Lou Betcha. Mix 1, 2, and 5. 3 is close. He definitely won 5. A lot of the rounds were close, but I thought the damage was all, you know, from Magomedov. He was really piecing up Mix. We got Melon in the building. What is up, Melon? Good to see you. Good to see you. Brady, hey, great man. Love it. Love it. Glad to hear. We got Jesse saying happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well. Yes, Freak in the building. Scotts, Arizona is watching you. Let's go. Show me the money. Let's do it. Mix is a fraud. He is not a fraud. But I did think he lost that fight. Brady, were you sweating that Patchy Mix money line too? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Big booty Latina. It could mean big booty Latina, which I don't believe that I am that either. Big BBL means a big, beautiful lady, big black lady. Gosh, I don't think it means the butt thing. I don't think it means the butt thing either, because obvious reasons. Brady, those Bellator fights were tough to sit through. Brady, you're the man. Yeah, I just watched the co-main and the main. Had other stuff to do today, but I thought, I thought the wrong guy won. But I mean, that's expected. It's MMA. You know, these judges get it wrong all the time. They suck. They're corrupt. They're terrible. We say it all the time. Lou Bet is saying BBC big Brady content. Yeah, I suppose so. All right. So yeah, I say we get right into it. Might be a shorter show today because yeah, I don't really love this card from a betting perspective. A lot of very sketchy fights. A lot of fighters fighting on this card where it's like, you know, why are they in the UFC? Like Tamara's Vidal. Like Victor Martinez, Vinicius Salvador. I feel like we're going to get a lot of people that are going to be cut after this card. So, but yeah, we'll get into it. We'll talk about it. We'll see if we can find some spots. And we're going to start with the first fight of the card. We have Emily Ducote going against Vanessa Demopoulos. We have Emily Ducote as a pretty big favorite. She is sitting as a -400 favorite. Vanessa Demopoulos is sitting as a +330 underdog. So yeah, I think it's pretty much Dixon, the guest show. That's best bet, and it's tomorrow every Saturday. What are you talking about, Dixon? Get it together. So yeah, I mean this should be Ducote all day. The problem is, you know, first of all, she's -400. Second of all, this fight is heavily favored to go the distance. The fight to go the distance is -400. So, you know, we're expected to see the judges, and you know, the judges, they're very crooked. They're very corrupt. You know, half the time I feel like they're watching with a blindfold. I feel like they also could be under the influence of drugs and alcohol as well. And then we've seen it though. We've seen Demopoulos win 2 fights where I thought she lost. I thought she lost the Fry fight. It was close. I guess you could make a case for Demopoulos, I guess. And then she won the Murata fight, which I still don't understand at all. So the judges seem to really like Vanessa Demopoulos. So it's one of those things where it's like Emily Ducote minus 400. I like the matchup for her. I like her to win the fight, but I feel like a lot of things can go wrong laying minus 400 on a WMMA fight. So yeah, Ducote, I think she wins. I think she wins by decision, but the best price for that decision is like minus 170, which I don't love as well. But yeah, this should be Ducote pretty much all day. From a prize picks perspective, I do like the Ducote more on the fantasy score, something I like this week. So on DraftKings, I actually don't like Ducote at all, but on prize picks, I do. And here's why. On prize picks for significant strikes, you get 0.6 fantasy points, which is huge. And then on DraftKings, you only get 0.4. And then also on prize picks, you get points for stuffing takedowns, which, you know, the Vanessa Demopoulos, she is completing takedowns at a trash 13% accuracy. So I feel like Ducote, she can land well over 100 significant strikes here. She can stuff a few takedowns and she can hit them more on the fantasy score. So from a prize picks perspective, I like that. From a DraftKings perspective, I'm not touching this fight. You can't get to Ducote at 9,200 with probably no finishing upside, 0 grappling upside, a decision-based, volume-based decision here more than likely at 9,200. Can't get there. And as far as Demopoulos, I think her path is like a robbery, like a really bad robbery, which, hey, it could happen, but you know, it's hard to call something like that. So yeah, give me Ducote by decision here. Let's see. All good, Dixon. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Lou doesn't support the drug and alcohol usage. I mean, not while you're judging a fight. You know, that's why I think they should start bringing a breathalyzer in there for some of these judges and referees, and drug testing the officials as well. You know, the drug testing these judges. You know. Because some of these scorecards just make you say, what? Like, what are you watching? Like, what are you watching? I just don't get it. We got Sniper. What is up, Brady? What happened to your intro song, to your videos? I got copyrighted, and it continued happening. And then I changed the song, and I got copyrighted. And then I changed the song, and I got copyrighted. So I gotta, maybe I make my own song, you know, because you know, I'm not going to copyright myself. So I might be taking this next week off. We got no car. Maybe I'll be in the recording studio and I can recreate a new intro, you know, because again, you can't copyright yourself. So yeah, I kept getting copyrighted. It was annoying, but maybe I'll cook something up on the week off. Judges want to see her shake it again. That's the only way she gets a decision. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Like she loses the fight and then she starts shaking her ass. I mean, and how are you going to shake your ass if you're losing the fight? I don't know. I don't get it. Melon, I like that song. I feel like 95% of people like that song, but there were some people that hated the song, and I heard about it each week. So kind of another reason I'm kind of glad it's gone, because people were complaining, oh, your song sucks. Your songs, blah, blah, blah. So, and Melon is definitely one of those people that complained. Dixon saying copywriting stuff like that is royalty free is illegal. People are douches. Yeah, people are douches. I agree with the last part. People are douches. There's a lot of douches out there. That is 100% facts, Dixon. Appreciate you, Melon. I hate Anthony Smith. What did Anthony Smith do? I hate Anthony Smith. He seems like a nice-ish guy, Anthony Smith. All right, let's move on. So yeah, I'm not betting this fight. I mean, even like Ducote in a square multi-leg parlay, I don't know. You know, it's tough to lay minus 400. Although I'm confident, it's like a lot of stuff can go wrong. Next, we got Kletzen Rodriguez going against Alatang Haley. We have Kletzen Rodriguez is minus 158. Alatang Haley's plus 138. Another fight where it's like I just don't trust either of these fighters. Alatang Haley has all the tools to win this fight and win it probably very handily. You know, he has some wrestling, he has power on the feet, but the problem with Alatang Haley is he refuses to wrestle in those first 2 rounds. I think he has 7 or 8 UFC fights and has 0 takedowns in the first 2 rounds. Has attempted 1 takedown in the first 2 rounds. He doesn't start wrestling till the third. It's like what are you doing, Alatang Haley? Like, what do you do? Why are you waiting till the 3rd round? So you would think, he'd come in here with a good game plan. That game plan would be taken down Kletson here. It's just I can't count on him to do that. Watch him come out here and start wrestling from the beginning. And if he does, I think he wins this fight. It's just I haven't seen it yet. Like, this guy's fight IQ is next level bad thus far. So by default, I'm taking Rodriguez to win 29-28, lose the third round, because that's when Alatang Haley shows up. But I think Kletson's going to win those first two on volume. Another fight where it is probably a dog or pass. It's just I can't trust Alatang Haley to come out there with a smart game plan. Another fight that I think goes to those crooked, corrupt judges. So yeah, give me Kletson here by decision, but I don't like the -160 or whatever he's at. I think it could be close, and I think Alatang Haley does have pass. From a DraftKings perspective, it's definitely dog or pass here. Alatang Haley 7,600. If he were to fight smart and come in here with a good game plan, could definitely get a good score. Mixing some takedowns here. He has some power on the feet as well. So I think from a DraftKings perspective, it's Alatang Haley or staying away from it altogether. I feel like this fight probably is not a bad one to stay away from a DraftKings perspective. Other than that, nothing really sticking out on Prize Picks for this fight, I'd say. And probably just another fight I'm gonna stay away from. Nothing really sticking out on this fight here. All right. Let's keep moving on, guys. We have Pierre Rodriguez going against Ariana Carnelossi. We have Pierre Rodriguez has been getting steamed all week. She's now -220. Ariana Carnelossi is +185. And I definitely have to pick Pierre Rodriguez here, but that does not mean I have to bet her at -220. I mean, that's getting a little ridiculous. But the reason I am picking Rodriguez here, Pierre, is because she's just going to be the clear minute winner here. Ariana Carnelossi, first of all, she's been off of a pretty big layoff. She's been dealing with some injuries. And Carnelossi on the feet, just a walking punching bag. I also don't think she has the best chin. We've seen her hurt as well. She's a 43% striking defense. And then also, on top of that, Carnelossi an 8% takedown defense. So on the feet, although I don't think Rodriguez is that great, it's like anything she throws is going to be landing. And then any takedown she attempts is probably going to be completed. So for that reason, I think I got to go Rodriguez here. I think she's going to win the minutes. I was thinking about maybe like a big plus money under here. And then it's like, then you got to rely on one of these fighters to get a finish. And I don't really want to do that. So it's another fight where I don't really like it from a betting perspective, but this is actually a fight from a DraftKings perspective, which I think could be very sneaky. I don't think this fight is going to have a ton of ownership. And Ariana Carnelossi fights, they score very well for and against. Like when she's winning fights, she's scoring very well. And when she's losing fights, her opponents are scoring very well. So a fight that's going to be very low owned, very down in these early prelims. I feel like from a DraftKings perspective, I could get there. Pierre Rodriguez, 8,800. I feel like she's going to be very, very low owned. And even Carnelossi, she's a finisher. She has like an 80% finish rate just about. Pereira, I don't think is that great. So yeah, I think I can see myself playing either side here on DraftKings. But, in terms of betting this fight, I can't quite get there. And laying -220 on Rodriguez just seems like not the smartest idea in the world. Let's see. We got Hot Boy saying, "What is up, Brady? I got an interesting prop for you. Hill by sub in 2-3 is plus 4,500 and KO 2-3 is plus 1,500. I would definitely lean the knockout, but Hill round 3 in general, I think is probably not going to hit, but I think it could be on the table. I think there could be some opportunities just because Panera slows down massively in every single fight. And I think I saw Hill round 3 at like plus 2,500. I'm not touching it, but I think there could be some opportunities there at a big plus money number. Dixon saying, I like Alatang Haley by decision at plus 300. Yeah, I don't hate that number. I think that's his win condition. I don't think he's subbing Kletson. I don't think he's knocking him out. I think that's his win condition. The most likely win condition, I should say. Post USADA, Carnelossi, Hulk, smash. Yeah, she could come in here looking like a completely different fighter. Post USADA. She was one of the fighters that got tested the most in the USADA era. I remember seeing a tweet last year where it shows the fighters that have got tested the most, and I think number 1 or number 2 was Carnelossi, which is hilarious. I mean, she's a strawweight, just a jacked up strawweight. So yeah, maybe you're right. Does Carnelossi have an OnlyFans? I would be shocked if she has an OnlyFans, but if she does, I may be interested. Let's see. Yo, Brady, have you ever swished a flop shot into the hole? No bounce. No, I don't think I have. I don't think I have, unfortunately. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. I haven't played it a lot this year. Piera and use parlay is free money. Man, parlaying Piera. I mean, I think she wins, but I don't know. I can't get there. Let's see. Dix is saying, Brady, I honestly cannot believe people are picking and betting Piera here. Yeah, they're not only picking and betting her, like they're betting her to a pretty big favorite. Do they not know that betting Brazilian lesbians is plus EV? Why are they picking a Venezuelan over her? The trend is your friend. Yeah, Dixon is the one with the trends. So I'm not touching this fight, Dixon. I wish you luck if you are. What's up, Adam? What is up? There's a picture of Carnelossi on Google Images where she looks just like Diego Lopez. Maybe she is Diego Lopez. You never know with some of these fighters. Maybe she could be Diego Lopez. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Abus Magomedov going against Warley Alves. Gosh, this is a fight where I feel like it's a good spot for Magomedov to get back on track here. But at the same time, it's like I don't trust this guy at all. Anytime we've seen Magomedov out of the first round thus far in the UFC, he's looked terrible. He has nothing left after those first 5 minutes. The Sean Strickland fight was not a good look. In the Kyle fight, he had a little bit more in that second, but just crumbled in the third. So it's like if Abus does not knock out Warley Alves in the first round, it's going to get very sketchy very quickly. So minus 255 Abus, it's tough to get there. I'm not convinced on him, but he should go out there and beat Alves in spectacular fashion. And the bookies are suggesting that. Like the Magomedov inside the distance is minus 165. Magomedov in round one is like plus 150. Magomedov round one KO like plus 175. I mean, I think that's how I would attack it, but it's like I don't know. Like I think that's his win condition is that round one knockout, but we're not getting great odds on it. So yeah, give me Magomedov here to knock out Alves in the first round. But this could be a good live betting spot, and I think there's a couple really good live betting spots on this card. This is one of them. Like if Magomedov does not starch Alves in the first round, I would look at maybe live betting Alves because he's at least shown that he can fight into round two and round three. So, yeah, another really sketchy fight. From a DraftKings perspective, both sides are in play. With Abus, you have the first round knockout upside, maybe early second. And then as far as Warley Alves, he also has some early finishing upside himself. And then if this fight gets extended, I think it does favor him. So, yeah, good fight to target from a DraftKings perspective. And then as like a bet, I'm not sure I'm going to be getting there. I thought maybe like the under 1.5. But the under 1.5 is minus 145. Yeah, I don't love that. I don't love it. I do not love that. I know they do on I think DraftKings, maybe Bet Rivers does it. I don't think FanDuel does, but I know they do the fighter with the under 1.5. That could be something to look out for Abus. But then you have to put money on Abus, and I don't know if I really want to bet on this guy. I'm not sold on Abus Magomedov. So, but yeah, I do want to see what that prop is set at. The Abus plus the under 1.5. Abus round one, round two. If those are decent lines, I might maybe just a small bet because I really do think he should starch this guy. Brady, my gut is telling me Abus by decision. I can't trust him to go 15. He just looks so bad. Maybe if he paces himself a little bit better, I could see it. It looked like he tried to pace himself in the Kyle fight a little bit more, which was kind of to his detriment. And he still gassed out. It was terrible. So I don't know, man. Abus. Warley is going to get bullied. Abus, the abused. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a good point. Both guys can be afraid to gas, so they're just going to spar for 15. I could see that. I want Abus to win, but I'm nervous about his gas tank. Me as well. So yeah, I don't know if I'm getting to this fight. Let's move on to the next fight. We got Melissa Gatto going against Tamara's Vidal. We have another big favorite here. That is the theme of this card. Melissa Gatto is minus 345. Tamara's Vidal is plus 270. And yeah, I think it's Gatto here all day. I struggle to see a path to victory for Vidal. Like a path to victory for Vidal would be, first of all, like the biggest robbery ever, more than likely. I think it'd be like a heel hook. I think Vidal has a couple heel hooks on her record. Like, I don't know. This should be Gatto. I think Gatto's better everywhere. I think she's the better striker, more volume, more power. She's definitely better on the mat. The only thing I'll give Vidal is, this is Gatto coming in here on somewhat short notice. She is coming up a weight class. Like, that's the one thing holding me back from going crazy on Gatto here. But other than that, I do like Gatto here quite a bit. And I think I think it's either like a very, very dominant decision, or I think Melissa Gatto can kind of get her out of there at some point. I think on the feet, Gatto's going to be doing the much better work. And then if this fight hits the mat, I think Gatto's going to style on Vidal. And I kind of think this fight does hit the mat because we saw Rendon take down Vidal a couple times, which is just a terrible look. And then we've also seen Vidal taken down by Aline Perez a couple years ago, like 50 times in that fight. So yeah, I think there's going to be some opportunities here for Gatto and Gatto to finish. So minus 345, it is what it is. It's definitely wide. It's definitely a WMMA massive favorite, but I don't know. I think she goes out there and crushes Vidal. So I might be looking at Gatto inside the distance is plus 140. I don't mind that. And then the Gatto 2-3 props or something I'm probably going to play small because the size does worry me a little bit, but I might like sprinkle a unit combined between like the inside the distance, the 2 and the 3, and hope Gatto can break her down and finish her in the later rounds is kind of what I'm thinking. From a DraftKings perspective, I don't mind Gatto. There are some other plays I like more. Like I like Omar Seed a little bit more. I like Abus has first round finish upside. Nolan has first round finish upside. Yanez has finish upside. So I like Gatto. I think she's okay, but I think there's better options. And as far as Tamara's Vidal, you couldn't catch me putting anything on Tamara's Vidal. So yeah, give me Gatto here to get it done in spectacular fashion. She needs a win here. She's on a 2-fight skid. She lost to Cortez in what was a close fight, and then she lost to Lipsky in a fight I thought she won. But yeah, she needs a win here, and she needs to go out there and make it convincing. Kletzen was barefoot at the weigh-ins and was crouching down. When he stood straight, he looked way bigger than Alatang Haley. Yeah, Kletzen Rodriguez is a guy that has previously fought at flyweight. You got money line Mills. Let's cash. I'm going heavy on M's Hill, Angela Hill. Yeah, I'm picking her to win. Face-offs. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, there were some interesting size advantages at face-offs. Like even Venetia Salvador, who's coming up from flyweight, was like towering over Yanez, and of course we know Tom Nolan is gonna be much bigger. But all right, we'll move on to the next fight. Liking Gatto there. We got Omar C going against Tuco Tokus. Yeah, nothing here. We have C as a minus 550 favorite, which I believe makes him the biggest favorite on the card. First off, I'll say I really liked C against Tricoli, and I was going to bet C there inside the distance. It was actually plus money. I thought C was going to run through him. Different matchup here. Tokus is a guy that I've seen a lot of his fights outside the UFC, and props to him. He's taken this fight on very short notice. He was talking about being on multiple flights this week. He said he was in Abu Dhabi. He was in the US. It was everywhere this week. He said he was like in the air for like 40 hours and still made weight. So shout out to Tokus. But, C, I think he goes out there and it's the same thing in every one of his fights. He goes out there and shoots the takedown within the first 30 seconds. And his wrestling is good. His control's pretty good. Has some good ground and pound. A little bit of a submission game as well. So yeah, I think C wins this fight. It's just how does he win it? And I'm not sure. I think it could be any method. I think it could be a decision where he's able to mix in takedowns across 15. I feel like it could maybe be a TKO. Tokus, again, is taking this fight on short notice. Maybe we could look at the 2-3 for C as well, but they're probably all just trash prices. So C inside the distance is minus 265. Round 2 plus 350, round 3 is plus 500. Those are just all trash. It's just a bunch of trash. So yeah, I don't see myself betting on this fight, which is a shame because I really liked him against Tricoli, but it is what it is. From a DraftKings perspective, I don't mind Omar. I mean, this is a guy that can wrestle and wrestle hard for 15 minutes if need be. A little bit of finishing upside there, some control time, taking on a short notice guy. I don't mind him. 9,600, expensive. I like some other guys more. But yeah, I don't hate him. And then as far as Tokus, this is a guy that has a lot of power. Omar's not that proven, so maybe Tokus could be like a low owned Arthur this week. So I'll sprinkle a little bit of Tokus, but mostly interested in C just for that grappling upside there. What round does Bilal beat Leon? Bilal Muhammad is not finishing Leon Edwards, but I do think Bilal could potentially win by decision. But relying on Bilal to finish anybody is a stretch for sure. But yeah, I think that fight could be close. We got Call Me Husker with a 7-month membership. Appreciate you, man. He says, "Oi, what is up? Thank you for stopping by. And thank you for becoming a member for 7 months. Appreciate you, man." And yeah, cannot wait to that. And I think they added that to the UFC 304 card. Like that card is looking incredible. The UFC 304 card. I could not wait to get into that. In July, I think. In July. All right. Let's keep moving on. We have Tom Nolan going against Victor Martinez. Yeah, we got Tom Nolan, really big favorite here, and rightfully so. And yeah, I think Tom Nolan goes out there and crushes Martinez here. I think he crushes him. I think it's probably in the first round and a half. It's just, yeah, I'm not sure how to play this one. So it looks like the under 1.5 is like minus 170. You don't love that. Nolan inside the distance is minus 275. I don't love that. Nolan by knockout is minus 175. I don't like that. Nolan by sub plus 800. I don't mind like a sprinkle on the sub just because he is a BJJ Brown. But I was listening to his interview this week, and he was talking about like he started in BJJ, started in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So maybe the sub's there, but I doubt that as well. So yeah, it's just I like Nolan. I like Nolan to go out there and absolutely serve Martinez. It's just how do you bet this fight? I was looking at like the Nolan round 1, round 2, which is like minus 180, which it's chalky, but I struggle to see Martinez making it out of like even the first round. I struggle to see him making it out of the first round. So under 1.5, minus 140. Nolan round 1, round 2, minus 180. A sprinkle on the Nolan sub potentially at a big plus money number, something like that. But I think Nolan goes out there and crushes Martinez and gets back on track here. As far as from a DraftKings perspective, Nolan is 9,500. He's very expensive, but I think rightfully so. He's going against Martinez, who's been finished in multiple fights. He's been subbed twice. He's been knocked out. He's going to be at a massive size disadvantage here. Martinez is. Nolan's just towering over this guy. So yeah, I think Nolan goes out there and serves him. Probably in the first round. Let's see here. Nolan by decision could be live. So Nolan does actually have a couple decisions on his record. It could be live. I mean, I hope not, because I'm definitely not betting the decision. I'm betting something like round 1, round 2. But yeah, Nolan decision is plus 600, which should be funny. Which should be funny if Jordan Levitt knocks out Martinez, but Nolan can't, because Nolan has like 5 to 10 times the power of Jordan Levitt. Mexicans have iron chins. I've lost thousands of Mexicans not getting knocked out. Maybe Martinez decided not to be Mexican when he fought Jordan Levitt. I don't know. That's why I think maybe like the club and sub could be live, like the club and sub. Nolan, black or brown belt. Nolan, very long guy, those long limbs. So maybe like a club and sub. I hope Copeland is the ref. As long as it's not Keith Peterson, I'll be okay with that. Nolan KO is my parlay piece for the week. Wish me luck, Brady. I think that hits. I think it hits. I'll be betting something with Nolan in it. I'm not sure yet, but I like Nolan quite a bit this week, which is not a hot take. I mean, everybody's on him. Everybody's betting him by knockout, which it's hard not to after watching Martinez's last fight. Okay, guys, we'll keep moving on. We have Angela Hill going against Luana Pinheiro. So this is like the Charles Johnson-Hadley fight for me last week, where I said Hadley, I'm very confident he's going to win the first round, and he did. And you can get Charles Johnson like plus 150. A little bit left in the first round. He's plus 150, I think. When the second round started, he was like plus 120, 30. So not as good as I thought. Maybe get like a plus 200. That wasn't the case. But here, it's kind of the same thing in terms of I think Pinheiro is going to win the first round. I'm pretty confident she does win the first round. Pinheiro's good. She's pretty good in the first round. She has a lot of power. She's absolutely going to have the power advantage. She's very physically strong. She can absolutely get takedowns here in the first round. She could absolutely land big shots. But the problem with Pinheiro, and it's not just one fight. It's not just two fights. It's every single fight. Pinheiro just falls off a cliff. Once that 7.5 round mark hits, she just has nothing left. Terrible body language. The volume completely vanishes. The power vanishes. The judo, it all vanishes for those last 7.5 minutes. So it's like, how can I, pick or bet Pinheiro here when I think she's going to lose like the last half of this round? With that said, though, I think she can win the first. I think the second could be, close. This fight is heavily favored to go the distance, minus 400 too. So it is going to come up to those crooked, corrupt judges, the judges that are blind, the judges that completely screw it up week after week. So that is a concern. But give me the fighter that's going to win the latter half of the round here, and Angela Hill. Am I laying chalk on her? No, I'm not. But I think after the first round, I think you might be able to get a plus money number on Hill. I think that's how I'd rather attack it. Instead of laying minus 145 pre-flop, a live bet on Angela Hill might be something that I look at. I'll be taking a very close look at the live bet. Outside of that live bet, nothing really liking here. From a DraftKings perspective, I actually think Hill could be kind of sneaky. She's been scoring decent in some of her wins as of late. Like, I'm talking 100-plus points in some of these wins. Very high volume, Angela Hill. And like I said, after 7.5 minutes, Pinheiro just has nothing left. So she's going to be a punching bag for the last 7.5. So don't mind Angela Hill on DraftKings. Pinheiro, I don't think I'm getting there. I struggle to see her finishing Hill. Hill's next level durable. So yeah, it's Hill or nothing for me on DraftKings. And then from a betting perspective, like I said, that live bet on Hill could be in play. Who cashed on Bellator? That was easy. Hopefully you didn't have mix and calling it easy, but yeah, I didn't have any bets on Bellator. Was not able to look into it, but I did watch the co-main and the main. Hill always finishes strong. Yeah, she does, and Pinheiro does the opposite of that. I mean, she does the opposite of that. Fight goes to split. Agreed. Pinheiro wins the first. Hill wins the third. Who wins the second? I don't know. Let's ask the crooked, corrupt, blind judges who they think. Pinheiro's second round sub parlay. Oh, gosh, Melon. I don't know about that. Hill has been sub twice. By Rando Marcos was the last time. I'll never forget that fight because I was all over Angela Hill. That stung me. So, but come on, I don't know. I feel like we're all chasing that round 3 finish, but Luana said she won't make the same mistake to avoid gassing so early. She has to come out with more measured pace. That'd be smart if she did that. Yeah, so you like to hear that if you're on the Luana side. You like to see that, hey, she's going to not go out there and put everything in with these strikes and gas out. So I got to hit the round 3 decision. That's how I felt about Charles Johnson last week. It's like, I'm done. I'm done betting Charles Johnson round 3 props. It's a waste of money. Every time you bet it, you're throwing your money away on these Charles Johnson round 3 props. Are they live? Yeah, every single fight they're live. But at this point, we know it's not happening ever happening. And maybe that's the same thing here with Hill. Hill does have a round 3 knockout in the UFC. It was against Carnelossi. She also has a round 2 knockout. But other than that, that's it. Those are her 2 finishes. A round 2 knockout, I forget against who, Hannah Cyphers, and then a round 3 knockout against Carnelossi. Other than that, it's decisions, and she's been fighting for a very long time, and she has a million fights. So, yeah, she's not a finisher. 7 to 8 minutes is a long time to get beat on, worth a shot. I don't think she's going to get beat on, per se, but I think she's going to be doing some of the better work, at least in the early going. Wrong card, but do you see value in Phil Rowe plus 115 against Matthews. Phil Rose such a tough guy to get a read on. Even Jake Matthews is like, sometimes Jake Matthews looks like a top 15 fighter, then sometimes it looks like he shouldn't even be on the roster. That guy, just so inconsistent. Both those guys are. I don't know. I have to look into it, but Matthews especially is just a tough guy to cap, and kind of the same thing with Rowe. So that's a weird fight. Salvador guaranteed a round 1 knockout. These fighters say a lot. Yeah, he did, which I find hilarious because he took Shannon Ross to the 2nd round. So that would be quite the prediction and for Salvador there. Main card looks like Upset City. Yeah, I think there's a couple live dogs. Yeah, there's a couple live dogs for sure. Hill is a bum. She's going to tap like a chicken. Come on. Hill is Magny's doppelganger. Kind of. I can kind of see it. Nothing is guaranteed in the fight game. That is 110% correct. Like, we just saw Magomedov go out there and beat Patchy Mix, and the judges gave it to Patchy. Nothing's guaranteed. We saw Chase Hooper go out there and TKO Slava Borshev multiple occasions last week and ends up getting a submission win. So yeah, we got some. That's why we love the fight game, though. It's the unpredictability. The crazy things happen, and anything can happen. Patchy won. You mean he won? 1, 2, and 5. Yeah, I thought he won. I thought he won 5. I don't know. 1. I don't know. I don't know about 1. No, you can't give him 1, man. Clint's gonna get roasted for his best bantamweights video. He won't get roasted too bad. If Patchy lost, he would get roasted big time. But Patchy won the fight, so I don't think people are gonna come after him too much. All that matters is winners for a lot of people. Let's see here. Let's move on. We have Adrian Yanez going against Vinicius Salvador. So first things first, on paper, Adrian Yanez 5'7", Vinicius Salvador 5'7". At the weigh-ins, Salvador 5'9", Yanez 5'7". I mean, Salvador was much bigger than Yanez at the weigh-ins, so that's something to kind of think about there. But yeah, I mean, this should be Yanez here. This is a massive, gigantic step down in competition for Yanez, going from Jonathan Martinez and even Rob Font. I mean, Jonathan Martinez and Rob Font would wreck Salvador. And then Salvador is coming up to bantamweight, which he has fought at bantamweight before, but he's, we go out there fighting CJ Vergara and Victor Altamirano. It's a big step up in competition for Salvador. So yeah, I like Yanez here. I like Yanez to win this fight convincingly. I like Yanez to win this fight by knockout. The problem I'm having is, what round? What round does he knock this guy out? Could be round 1. It could be round 2. It could be round 3. I was kind of leading 2-3, and it's like, I don't know. It could be in any round. But yeah, Salvador, he's very hittable. Salvador's been knocked out on multiple occasions, and I think Yanez knocks him out at some point. So I might be betting like Yanez inside the distance, which is minus 135. And by the way, if you're going to bet a prop here, I wouldn't bet the knockout prop. I would go for that inside the distance. It's literally like the knockout's minus 125. The inside the distance is minus 135 on Draftkings. So there's not much of a difference. So I might be going like Yanez inside the distance. I don't think I'm going to mess around with the round because I can see it being late first. I could see it being second. I could see it in any round is the thing. Is the thing I'm struggling with. So Yanez inside the distance for me. I like it. From a DraftKings perspective, Yanez 9,300. I don't mind him. I think I like Nolan a little bit better. I like Omar a little better for the grappling, but I think Yanez can go out there, land a bunch of strikes, and get a couple knockdowns to get a knockout at some point here. So I like Yanez from a DraftKings perspective. As far as Salvador, definitely a dart throw. Yanez has been knocked out in his last 2 fights, including one against Rob Font, which is not a great look. But yeah, I think this is Yanez here. What is Yanez at right now? Minus 415 currently. So big favorite, but big favorite for a reason. Let's see here. Adrian Yanez by decision. Yanez is the only reason I'm watching this card. Besides Edson, my GOAT is back. Let's go. Yeah, that Yanez fight should be fun. The main event should be fun. Looking forward to the Grimbo fight. Let's see here. Salvador is big considering he's a former flyweight. Yeah, he's like I said, he's fought at bantamweight before as well. But yeah, he's big. He's a big dude. That's why he was missing weight at like flyweight. Sal looked big, but he is still sus. I agree. He's definitely sus. This is a layup for Yanez. If he loses this, he should get an office job. If he loses this, something's up, man. Something's wrong with him. He should not be losing to Vinicius Salvador. Yanez is washed. If you lose a couple, I wouldn't say he's washed. I mean, the guy's like he's 30 years old. He fought Jonathan Martinez and Rob Font. I mean, those guys would both like smoke. I mean, those fights wouldn't be competitive. Those fights wouldn't be sanctioned. Salvador versus Martinez and Font. Yanez over in strikes. Yanez may be tentative after the last couple fights. Might start off slow. Maybe I'm looking at the 2-3, but it could also happen in round 1, which would be annoying. Losing to 2 ranked fighters is not being washed. I would tend to agree. Good thing I dipped in a while. The odds were fresh. They all kind of tanked, and yeah, as expected. The parlay boys got in some of these lines. Yeah, these lines kind of got crushed throughout the week. All right, let's move on to the next fight. A couple fights left. We have Themba Gorimbo going against Ramiz Brahimaj. Yeah, fun fight here, but kind of a tricky fight to call. So money poured in on Brahimaj on like Sunday, and then it just like stopped. I remember Brahimaj was like plus 175 that morning, and then that evening he was like plus 125, and he's been plus 125 all week. So this lines came down, and rightfully so. It's a close fight. How I'm seeing this fight is it's Brahimaj early or Gorimbo late or decision. Ramiz Brahimaj, he has 10 fights, and he's won 9 of those by first round sub. And then he also has a second round submission within like the first minute of the second round. So, it's tough to be confident in a guy in Ramiz who, first of all, has been out for a while. He's been dealing with a bunch of health issues outside the cage. So that's something to definitely take into account. And then, yeah, if any time a fight hits the second round, his chances of winning just plummet. So if you're going to bet Ramiz, I think round 1, or I think Ramiz round 1-2 are solid looks. And then maybe another live bet spot here for Themba. Like if Themba is able to survive that first round, maybe look at Themba for a live bet. But yeah, I think Ramiz will definitely have some opportunities here. Themba makes a lot of mistakes on the mat. He's submission over position, gets a little sloppy when the fight hits the ground. I think Ramiz is live for a first round sub, but I think that's pretty much his win condition. So it's kind of hard to be confident. So I was looking at maybe like Ramiz round 1, Ramiz round 1, round 2, which is plus 200. I don't mind those. If you're on the Themba side, Themba round 2, round 3 sprinkles could be in play. Themba round 3 decision. I don't know how I'm going to attack this fight yet, but like a small sprinkle on Ramiz round 1, round 2 might be the look for me, just because I feel like that's his win condition. And I feel like there will be multiple opportunities. But there are some sketchy things, with the guy. He's not fought in a while, been dealing with health issues. Themba's been training at a great gym. Themba is making rapid improvements. So, yeah, we'll see. But it's a dog or pass for me. Taking the Brahimaj side. From a DraftKings perspective, I love this fight from a DraftKings perspective. I see potentially a finish here first and foremost. I see a lot of wrestling, some reversals, some control time, some takedowns. I could see Brahimaj round 1 sub, maybe round 2, and then I can see Themba pulling away down the stretch, doing some good work himself. So yeah, I think it's a great fight from a DraftKings perspective, and I'll be very heavily on it. Slight lean Brahimaj for me. Not a ton of confidence though, and it's hard to be confident in a guy that's been off for 2 years. We got Call Me Husker saying Themba inside the distance. It is, I think it's a better number than Brahimaj inside the distance. I think it's like plus 200 for Themba inside the distance. All he has to do is survive the first round. I have a feeling Themba is the parlay buster this week. I don't know the issues outside the cage. It got me spooked. Gonna pick Themba by decision, maybe KO. I could see like a late TKO. Ramiz doesn't really seem to have much after the first 7.5 minutes. Let's see here. Brady, have you ever paid attention to betting percentages versus the line movement? A lot of time, Vegas moves the odds opposite the money. These odds makers are high level. Yeah, they are geniuses. They absolutely are geniuses. Yeah, I look at it here and there. But yeah, they're very, very smart. Not always does the line swing away from the money. That is true. They like to set traps. That is for sure. We've seen it before. All right. So yeah, maybe I'll stay away, but if I was to bet, it'd be like a small sprinkle on these Ramiz early props. But even that, I'm not too thrilled about. Moving on, we got the co-main event: Chaos Williams going against Carlston Harris. This is a fight where I love this fight. I like both these fighters a lot, but it's one of those fights where I can just see a ton of different outcomes. First and foremost, Chaos Williams has a ton of power. I could see him maybe knocking out Carlston Harris. I could see Chaos Williams maybe landing the bigger shots across 15 minutes. And it's a fight where I feel like we're missing some information on the Williams side. Like, his takedown defense on paper looks very good. It's just nobody's really tried to take him down outside of Michel Pereira. I was even watching some of his fights outside the UFC, which at this point was a very long time ago, and his takedown defense looked really good. It's held up, but his takedown defense is almost certainly going to be tested here. If it turns out that Chaos Williams does have good takedown defense, like I think it's a very good fight for him. But if it turns out Carlston Harris is able to take him down, he is in serious trouble. Carlston Harris is a guy that has a really good submission game. He's a guy that can go out there and wrestle. He's a guy that can go out there and hold you against a cage, win some minutes. So, yeah, I think there's paths for both sides. It's a fight I don't really want to get invested in. Like, no props are sticking out because I could see Chaos winning by knockout or decision. I could see Harris winning by submission or decision. I could see this fight going under. I could see it going over. I could see so many different outcomes here. But I'm going to lean Chaos Williams just because I think the takedown defense will be good enough. And if it is, I think he wins the fight. But like I said, it's going to be tested here more than it ever has in this fight. So from a DraftKings perspective, I like it a lot. I think, like I said, both guys have some paths here. Chaos Williams, really good power. Carlston Harris, really good grappling. I think the winner, especially at these price tags, scores well. So that's where I'm going to get my exposure from a DraftKings perspective. At these salaries, I think both guys are in play. Williams is kind of fishy, kind of sketchy. I used to kind of think that, like, he came in there and his first 2 wins were both in 30 seconds, but he's kind of settled in. He's had some good performances. He's shown that he could go 15 minutes. So I think we've learned a lot about him. Brady talked me off of the Harris by sub, not ready to join the Chaos site. It's not a bad bet. It's a big plus money number. Why not? I think that's a win condition for Carlston Harris. If he is able to get the fight down to the mat, his submission game is legit. So plus 450. It could be worth a sprinkle. Who made the call on Chase Super last week? A bunch of shark money came in on him during the fight. Walks. I know what Keith Peterson bet on. Keith Peterson bet on the submission. That's what he bet on. Keith Peterson cleaned up last week. Agreed, I'm not sold on Chaos yet. I like Chaos early KO or Carlston round 3 decision. Both solid looks. Can never go wrong with the Chaos KO1. Harris is the best grappler he's faced by a mile. By a mile. Chaos by KO, Harris by decision. Harris is also a sloppy striker. Yeah, I wouldn't say I don't know if it's sloppy or just like a very an awkward, unique striking style. I don't know if I want to say like it's a weird striking style, but when he lands and connects, he has a lot of power. So it's tough. It's probably tough for his opponents to deal with. Those wild looping shots from the Harris side. I despise Keith Peterson. The thing about Keith is, he's cost me a lot of money in the past, but there's this like stretch of like 2 months where it's like, Keith Peterson's, doing a great job in there. He's doing a great job in there, Keith Peterson. It's like 3 month stretch. I'm like, wow, Keith Peterson is doing a really good job. And then it's like these last couple of weeks, it's like, what is going on? So I don't know. But yeah, that was bad. I know Uncle Weezy had Hooper KO 2 and KO 3. It was like a 5-unit swing for him. So yeah, that sucks. I had the fight won't start round 3. I thought that wasn't even going to hit because Peterson just wouldn't stop the fight. So I thought the fight was going to start round 3 somehow. But luckily, he eventually stopped the fight. All right, main event time. We have Lerone Murphy going against Edson Barbosa. We have Lerone Murphy is now, I believe some money came on him. It came in on him today. He's now minus 160. Edson Barbosa is plus 140. Close fight here. I feel like, this is a big test for Lerone Murphy. I've always been a big fan of Lerone Murphy, a big believer of the guy, but this is going to be his toughest matchup by a mile. You look through his wins, and it's like they're all decent wins. They're solid wins. Douglas Silva de Andrade, Gabriel Santos. I thought he absolutely lost that fight, but he beat Gabriel Santos. He has some good wins, but they're not great. And if he does beat Edson Barbosa, it's going to be his best win by a mile. If I didn't see that last Barbosa fight, I'd probably be on the Murphy side here. But the fact of the matter is I did, and Barbosa proved me wrong in that Yusuf fight. He showed that he could go 25 minutes, and he went out there and landed 150-plus significant strikes. He even dropped Sadiq Yusuf in the 3rd round. So, at 38 years old, I think Barbosa still has a little bit left in the tank. So it's definitely a show-me spot for Lerone Murphy here. I do, and I always have really worried about the durability of Edson Barbosa. We've seen him knocked out on multiple occasions. We've seen him hurt a lot, especially, now at 38 years old, something to take into account. But Murphy's not he has some power, but he's not some murderous power puncher like a Gaethje, even like a Giga, some of these other guys. So, yeah, it's dog or pass for me. I was kind of looking at like the fight ends by knockout here at plus money, just because I think this fight is primarily going to stay standing. I don't see Murphy taking down Barbosa. He might try. It's just, you take a look at who takes down Barbosa, and it's guys like Khabib. It's guys like Prime Kevin Lee. It's guys like those. I mean, Murphy's not, I don't think he's taken down Barbosa. I think these guys are going to strike for 25, and I could see somebody getting clipped at some point. So the fight ends by knockout. Even the fight doesn't go at minus 125 are spots I don't mind. I don't know if I'm going to get there, but there's spots I don't mind. So yeah, I'm going to pick Barbosa to win this fight. From a DraftKings perspective, Barbosa 7,700. I like the savings from him. I like the power that he brings to the table, the volume that he brings to the table. He's the more experienced fighter. He's fought the better competition. So yeah, Barbosa is my preferred play, but Murphy 8,500, 5 rounds to work with. The much younger guy. He's definitely in play in his own right. So yeah, great fight to target on DK, but the lean is certainly Barbosa. It's always tough having confidence on like a 38-year-old. But I think he still has some left in the tank. Weezy is a casual for picking Hooper by KO. Boy, couldn't hurt a fly. I don't think that was a casual take at all. It would be the TKO. Obviously, Hooper's not knocking anybody out standing, obviously. But Hooper's ground and pound is very, very good. Very good. Keith Peterson bet on the over. Horrible reffing in Bellator today. I just caught the last 2 Bellator fights. But yeah, Keith Peterson loves betting over, so that's for sure. You got to basically kill somebody for him to stop a fight. Edson Barbosa money line, especially at underdog money, I don't mind it. Edson finna do Murphy like he did Billy. I don't know if he doesn't like Billy Q. And then give him an instruction video on how he set him up. Gosh. Did that actually happen? Did Edson give Billy Q an instructional video on how he set it up? If so, wow. Plus, these older fighters are back on the juice. The older fighters have been doing very well. Post-USADA era, we are seeing some very interesting things that certainly should be kept in mind. This could be a coin flip decision. They matched up well for the face-offs, leaning Edson. If this does go the distance, I think it could go either way. Murphy edging streak. Murphy's edging streak continues. Barbosa's chin is made of eggshells. 1 point for Murphy, and that's instead. What do you mean by his edging streak? What is that? I don't know what you mean there. Murphy isn't striking. Murphy isn't outstriking Barbosa. Come on, easy money, plus 120. Where is Murphy plus 120? Like Murphy's like minus 160. Do you mean like the other way around? Oh, I'm so dumb. It's been a long decision. Murphy's not outstriking Barbosa. Give me plus money on Barbosa. I got you. Sorry. My bad. My bad. So, silly me. Personally, I think Lerone is better than Yusuf and will make it look easy. Yeah, I guess you could say that. He's better than Yusuf. He definitely has better durability than Yusuf. How is Murphy's cardio? Can he last 25 minutes? We don't know. He's not seen a fourth. He's not seen a fifth. Whereas Barbosa, he has, and he's looked decent. Okay, Melon, I got you. Melon, did you see the fight? Hooper had a justifiable TKO. Yeah, I mean, that fight could have been stopped on multiple different occasions. Murphy KO in 2. Yeah, as long as somebody gets knocked out, I think I'll be happy because I'm thinking about maybe playing that fight ends by knockout. It's plus money. These guys are going to throw down. Both guys have power. I don't hate it at plus money. I don't love it, but I don't love much on this card. Which one ends first, Barbosa's chin or Murphy's cardio? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. I think Murphy will be prepared to go 25 here if need be, but Barbosa's chin has been cracked many times. Many times. All right. Let's see. 4-5 decision for Barbosa. Yeah, I don't know which round it would be if it came. I think it'd be any round, but all right, guys, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. I gotta get out of here. So quick recap, but the betting breakdown video will be out tonight. I still have to get some spots in. I know what I'm betting. I'm just gotta figure out how I want to bet on it. So for the main event, I'm looking at like an under, a fight doesn't go, or the fight ends by KO, something small potentially, if I even get there at that. For the Garimbo Brahimaj fight, maybe Brahimaj round 1, round 2, something along the lines of that, if I even get there. Yanez, inside the distance. I was looking at maybe like a round prop for Yanez, but I think it could come in any round. To me, it sounds like Salvador is going to go out there and start quickly, and that could end up, biting him in the butt and getting finished in his own right. So Yanez inside the distance, -135. I don't mind it. Tom Nolan, the under 1.5, maybe. The fight won't start round 3, maybe. It's chalky, but I struggle to see Martinez going 7.5 to 10 minutes here. Gatto, I think she goes out there and finishes Vidal. Gatto inside the distance, maybe a Gatto 2-3 as well. Abus, maybe a round 1 finish, but the prices aren't great, so I might just stay away. And then I'm just completely avoiding the first 3 fights, that's for sure. So be on the lookout for the betting breakdown video. It's going to be a super light card, probably my least favorite betting card in a while. But there are some spots I might sprinkle on for funsies, and then attack UFC 302 heavily in 2 weeks. Going to get ahead on that fight card. Hopefully, like Saturday, start taping some of these fights. Brady, what do you think about Garimbo inside the distance? I don't hate it. If you're on the Garimbo side, 2-3 Garimbo, I think are plays that make a ton of sense. Garimbo 2-3, just because Brahimaj has shown really not much after the first round and a half. Hooper TKO is a guy who's actually dead, and now he can TKO Borshev. Never going to happen. It's happened before. He has TKO'd a couple guys. I mean, his UFC debut, he got a TKO. Hooper. D1 Yanez is going to wrestle an overzealous Salvador. That'd be interesting. It'd be very interesting. Appreciate you, Abdi. Undefeated, Sober Costa. Good luck tomorrow. Good luck to you as well. Brady, ban Mellon forever for disrespecting Weezy like that. I mean, that's just how Mellon talks. So how dare he call the father of probability a casual? Yeah, I mean, that's just Mellon for you. Smash the like button. I agree. All right, guys. Best of luck, everybody, for UFC Vegas 92. Enjoy the card, and we'll talk to you guys soon. We got betting breakdown video tonight, and then best bet tomorrow. And yeah, guys, that's about it. And see you later.